Hello and welcome to Dragon's Crown, not Dragon's Dogma. I get that confused a lot. Hello, I am Mont or Alex, and with me today again is...
Nita, or the Art Slave.
And yes, today we're going to be playing Dragon's Crown on PS3. Local co-op, and well... I don't know how much of an introduction this game needs, really. I suppose it's not the most popular game, but I think it's fairly well known. We'll be playing the... well, I'll be playing the Dwarf, and what are you playing?
Oh, the Amazon.
Amazon. There's also a... what else? Well, let's check real quick. Oh yeah, you have... so yeah. Yeah, okay. So you have the Fighter, the Sorceress, the Wizard, the Dwarf, the Elf, and the Amazon.
It's interesting how everyone else is a class, but the dwarf and elf are races.
Well, they do that in some kind of older things I've noticed. Like instead of calling them by their class, they'll just be dwarf, like as their class. Same with elf, which is kind of weird. I've noticed that in a few like old-fashioned sort of things. You need to select your thing again.
Oh right, right.
So there's not a huge difference between most of the classes, apart from I'd say you have like the melee classes and then the magic classes, but well, it's I don't know really how much it changes up the game, to be honest, but hey. So you start in the tavern, then you leave the tavern and you're in the town.
Per Count Dean's request, you agreed to infiltrate.
It's got an interesting art style, this game. It's by Vanillaware, I think. And of course, as most hubs go, you can get all your sort of stuff. Watch your hands, lest she decide to turn them to stone. Yeah. Well, the art style doesn't leave much to the imagination in some ways. It's hyper-stylized, I guess you could say. All the females are very voluptuous, and the males are all like... well, just look at the dwarf, he's like...
hyper masculine.
Yeah, like the fighter's like 8 foot tall and his chest is like as big as a castle, but... It's a nice looking game, would you say?
Yeah, I'm very into the art style. Well, it reminds me of old school games and some of like... it's very Conan-esque, you know, like old Conan covers and so on.
Yeah, like 60s power fantasy novel things. Yeah, I think I know what you mean. But okay, we're gonna try and get into a level now. This is a game that actually kind of, although it looks so nice, sometimes it's a bit troubling because of the art style. It can be hard to tell what's actually going on, I find, especially like you can get 4 characters on screen, and we've decided not to take the NPC helpers because we just couldn't see what's going on.
Yeah, it's really hard to keep track of what's going on.
Yeah.
Who's doing what when everything is flying around. There are effects from the attacks and the environment.
Yep.
And random NPCs appearing and disappearing.
Yeah, this guy just... maybe there's like a way to turn them off, like so they don't pop up and help you, but I forget. There must be a way to do that, but yeah. So I suppose it's better a game to look at than to play in some ways.
Maybe it does have its like very confusing moments, but then again, it doesn't require like all that many tactics, so you can just run around and mash, and you'll probably hit something. Yeah,
maybe like on high, like you don't actually. There is online in this game, but you don't. I believe you have to complete the single player campaign before you can get online. I don't think it's a long campaign, but
a corpulent chef grabs a goblin instead of meat, and suddenly stops. The cook, sensing your presence, stares directly at you. Luckily, her sight's not so keen, so she doesn't note it. Eventually, the chef returns to her meat.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I like the art style. I just kind of wish they I kind of get the impression this is one of those games where the devs play it and they don't realise whilst they're playing it how confusing it can be. Like,
yeah.
how hard it is to see everything, you know?
It looks very nice in still screens.
Yeah, yeah.
But when you're playing, there's not much of a contrast between the backgrounds and the characters. Everything's very colorful, very shaded, detailed, so it doesn't really help when you're trying to figure out where you're going, even with the indicators on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which we have on above our characters, but...
And below.
Mm-hmm. So, this guy in green following us around is the thief who you use to open chests and stuff. Which is like a nice idea, but it's another case of, oh, we have something else on the screen that we have to kind of... that's always there. But, yeah. I think the main strength of this game is definitely the art style, though, but which is also kind of a bad thing in some ways.
Yes, it's both a good and bad thing.
Yeah.
I do think the gameplay is also kind of satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
It's fairly simple with 2 attack buttons. One for your basic combo and one for a special attack. Like
Where
this.
you always drop your weapon, it feels like.
Yeah, I think that always happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the wizard has like a mana bar which you have to sort of stop and recharge.
Can we bash through that door?
I'm not sure, actually.
There are many secrets hidden in
Yeah.
the stages, such as like twinkling bits you can
You have
point.
to move the analog stick.
Yeah, you
gives
can
you
point
this.
and click them, and sometimes treasure pops out,
Yeah.
and like breakable environments, so you can get to secret areas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And of course that's like another thing that's easy to miss when you're seeing so much stuff on the screen at once. You're really low on health, by the way.
Yeah. Can't remember which one's my potion. Wait, that's my weapon.
Yeah,
So-
I have like heal potion S, so fancy you do that.
Which button is it?
Left and right moves like.
I don't think I have any. Oh,
Oh, there you go.
it's
Down, I think. There you go. Yeah. So, when this game actually came out, more people were talking about the game's art style than the actual
the character
game.
designs.
Yeah, because some people are saying, "Oh, it's misogynistic," and all
Well, it
that
is
stuff.
kind of controversial, like in this time and age where like feminist issues are like very much on the surface. And I have to admit, I'm not sure what I think, because I do like my share of like lady butts and tits. They're nice to look at. The ladies are beautiful, the guys are maybe not as beautiful. But
Well, have you seen the fighter? He's got like a really sort of Bishonen face, although he's huge.
yeah.
And the wizard has like long flowing hair and like a really handsome face.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean. They're not sexualized.
Well, how would they be, like, if they were?
Or if, say, a beautiful guy with his chest bared, while not being overly muscular like this
the
handsome dwarf here.
Yeah.
Because that's not generally what a large audience, like a large female audience likes. But, you know, everyone likes something.
Hmm.
So I'm sure there are plenty of people who enjoy the broad dwarf chest.
Yeah. So, there's like a dinosaur in there. Okay.
So I'm gonna free it.
Oh, and now they're killing it.
Oh, that's
Okay.
cool.
I guess that happens. The main topic of contention was the sorceress, of course, whose breasts are like enormous. Oh, you can ride it.
Oh, you tamed it.
Look at him, he's like crossing his arms like, huh. It's like,
Yeah, that's new. I don't think we've come across these before.
yeah. That's how cool I am. I just cross my arms. Yeah, like the sorceress, but I think with her, although it's like, yeah, it's sexy or whatever, it does kind of suit her character because she's like a necromancer.
Sort of, I
So
guess.
and like she's giving life to stuff, and that's obviously you know, it's like a classic sign of life and bounty and fertility is giant hips and all that.
And I don't think in a game like this it's too out of place, where it's very retro, very, well, like I said, it reminds me of Conan. And there's nothing wrong with sexy.
Yeah.
And too many people these days seem to think that, oh, females being sexy is automatically evil and bad, and nobody wants that except horrible, horrible men, which isn't right.
How do we go in this door?
Maybe?
Oh, we've unlock it, I guess.
And, well, it sounds kind of dumb, but you can always choose not to play these sort of games, and you can, like, vote with your wallet.
Exactly, yeah. It's like, 'cause I don't personally see the problem, because I would see more of a problem in, say, like, World of Warcraft, where if you get, like, a chest piece for a guy, it covers his chest and it looks like proper armor. Well, not proper armor, but, you know, it looks like that. And then you get the same thing for a female and it turns into, like, a bra. It's like, what?
Yeah.
See, that bugs me, personally, because I just find it kind of annoying. But
yeah, because there's time and place for, like, everything.
Yeah.
And, in this case, it is sort of, like, fitting.
It fits the thing, because, like, everyone is super stylized like that. Like, the elf, she's fully covered up, she's got, like, a hood on. I mean, yeah, she has, like, her thighs exposed, but...
Yeah, she's modestly proportioned and so on.
And it makes sense for an elf, whereas the Amazon is, like, you know, that's, like, the Amazon thing, is...
Yeah.
A useless dwarf lies here.
Also, fun thing I like about the Amazon is she's very muscular. She's not, like, traditionally beautiful, like...
Yeah.
She looks strong, and, well, even though she gets, like, sexy booty...
Yeah.
I think it's more like, cheesecake instead of, like, please, have fun with this behind closed doors.
Yeah, I think there's, like, the culture thing to consider as well, but I think, like, from the Japanese perspective, perhaps, it's not really designed to be, like, super sexy, it's just designed to be, like Japanese cool, you know?
Yeah, and, like,
it's the same problem...
It's pleasant to look at in any and every way.
It's the same problem with, Sydney, or Cindy, oh, you're dead, in,
Oops, can I revive?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah, I guess you do. Same problem with, Sydney, in, Final Fantasy 15. People, like, they were, like, Americans and Western people in general were saying, oh, she's too sexy for being an engineer for a car, da-da-da. But then the, like, designers were like, well, we didn't really design her to be sexy, she was just, like, designed, that was, like, part of her character, like, she's, you know, comfortable with her outfit and all that sort of stuff. And I can kind of see where they're coming from here, so I think a lot of it is the cultural difference.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a difference, again, between, like, sexy and, like, pointlessly sexy.
Yeah.
She's, like, on the edge of that. You know, if you really were an engineer, you'd have, like, covering overalls. But it doesn't really matter. She's not, like...
Yeah, it's Final Fantasy
it's not
as
cheap.
well.
It's not too cheap and, like, like gross. Although I do wish there were more games where you had less exposed females, or on the other hand, I would like more games with, like, female eye candy, like, for females, or, well, not even females, anyone who likes to see their pretty guys or handsome guys, like, exposed.
Like, I mean, what would be an example of that? Exactly.
There's that in production Final Fantasy game with the super feminine main character. I think it was a handheld game, maybe? He was dressed in, like, all like, body tight outfit.
But you get a lot of that sort of stuff in Japan, don't you? Like,
yeah,
super...
Japan seems to be able to cater more towards the female audience as well. And maybe the Western developers should try that as well. Yeah.
I think Western devs are too worried about being politically correct, so they make everything mega boring.
Well, I don't know about too political correct, seeing how the audience is very critical as well. They kind of have to be.
Oh no, I'm gonna die.
Me too. Hard to pay attention.
Yeah.
But yeah, should we continue with this or?
Yeah, we can keep going for a bit.
At the bottom of the stairs is an area connected to the sewers. This seems your most likely escape route.
But again, I think that probably annoyed them when the game came out, because people were talking more about that than the content of the game. But on the flip side, this is quite a simple game initially. It's you move from left to right and you hit stuff, like Golden Axe and stuff.
Yeah, I think they were sort of relying on the controversy as well, because even negative attention is attention.
Yeah, all attention is good attention, or whatever they say, but yeah, and I doubt it actually hurt them in any way.
Yeah, because they're going to have their like preferred audience anyway.
Yep, pretty much. And that's another thing, it's like, if you don't like this content of the game, don't buy the game, you know?
And well, it also sounds kind of, if you don't like it, make your own, but that's actually sort of a legit suggestion.
Yeah.
You can, if you want to affect these things, you can. You can give feedback, you can make your own, you can start your own company. These days it's not even that impossible.
Yeah, that's true.
Because what I think is that the game industry would just be enriched from all kinds of content. It is kind of one-sided, but that's because it's what the mainstream wants.
Yeah, oops. I ended up throwing my thing at him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there's so many indie devs right now that, and I don't imagine a game like this is super hard to code or anything, so they could make their own version of this game with their own art style and stuff.
Yeah, there are plenty of
it's like stomping me.
very talented coders, artists, game designers who just need the funding, which is possible with crowdfunding these days. If there is an audience, and if there isn't, well, the masses speak for themselves.
Yeah. Oh, there was my weapon. Yeah, I'm not sure how this game sold. I think it probably sold within expectations of, oh, you're dead again.
How sad.
Oh yeah, I guess it, I have to give you money to revive you or something, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I think they have plenty.
Oh, a trophy! Ow, ow!
He's kind of tough.
Yeah, it's because there's only 2 of us. Am I alive again?
Does it not scale? Oh.
I don't know, but yeah, you can see it's it is a hard game to keep track of, especially when you're talking, but it's just kind of hard to see what's going on all the time. Plus, I can never remember if you can block or not in this game. Can you block?
You can at least dodge.
Oh yeah, you can
dodge. Which I never actually do.
Yeah.
Maybe should. It's also been 10 months since I've played this.
Same here.
So, yes, excuses.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a pretty simple game. Once you beat the campaign, you get all the the online mode, which I think that's again with Diablo, it's that's where the true game begins. Ow. I think if you stand still, sometimes you start eating and stuff, but maybe you need to actually have food for that. Oh, oops.
Do I have anything I can use? No.
Oof.
Oh well.
Yeah, it can be quite a hard game when you fight the bosses.
Yes,
Ow.
especially since I think we just reached level 7 and this is...
like a level 7 thingy, yeah.
Yeah. So, well, there's plenty of challenge for those who want it.
Yeah. I've never been very good at these side-scrolling games. I do like them though, I really love Golden Axe. That one was awesome. I'm gonna try and finish him off with my... whatever the hell my special attack is.
Nice.
Well, he's dead either way.
Yeah. There's also the Dungeons and Dragons game on Steam.
Yeah, Shadows of Mistara, I think it's called.
Was it 2 games or 1?
Yeah, you get like 2 games. That one's actually really good. If you like this sort of game, check out what they call it, like Chronicles of Mystara or something like
Something
that.
like that. It wasn't too expensive either.
It's pretty cheap and it's really fun. I
Yeah.
like that one a
It
lot.
has a very nice art style, much simpler than this.
It's
much
quite
clearer.
Yeah, it's quite an old game, but it still looks really nice.
It ages well.
Yeah, because it's got like sprite-based graphics, I guess. But
Yeah.
there is
Both
like
it.
like you get loot and different skills in this game. I don't actually remember how you like use your skill points. But
Claimed is the great sword of the hero Javelin.
Ooh.
Javelin or Javelin, but his name's kind of like Javelin. It's like okay. And oh yes, and once you beat a level, you get to appraise or sell your stuff. Appraising it lets you see like what it is. Did we get anything high rank? No.
No, C is the highest.
Yeah. Well, let's have a look at this example. I praise it, and then I can see it's a deft double axe. I can praise that. Yep.
Yeah, and it shows the characters that can use it.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's class restricted, like, oh, caster or long range. Sometimes it seems to be gender restricted, like, oh, these precious earrings.
Yeah, like that I think is a pair of earrings that only the Amazon and the sorceress can use. The elf can't use them.
For some reason.
Yeah, and this only the elf and the dwarf can use that.
Yes, because they both seem to use capes.
Yeah, that's true. They both have little, well, mantles in this case. Category mantle, earrings, belt, and amulets that everyone can use. That one's quite expensive. Let's see what that is. Damage from traps, yeah. I don't really like the loot system in this game.
It's
Because-
confusing and fiddly.
Yeah, it's very, very Japanesey, I find, where it's... A lot of Japanese games, you have to play them a lot to really sort of get into them, because they're not all that user-friendly, I suppose. But with this game, I suppose you can just play through the story mode and ignore most of the equipment stuff, maybe. I don't know how important or not it is, but it's simple, but with a lot of strange mechanics. But
Yeah, I think you'll get more out of it with online,
yeah,
and when you can actually start farming for better loot. And
yeah. Once you get used to the mechanics and like how the systems work, I think it'd be a lot more enjoyable. But if you take almost a year gap in between playing, it's gonna, of course, be a bit confusing. But it is a very nice game, and I kind of wanted it, if only just for the art style, really.
yes, and now that I've finally got a PS3, it's on my game list.
Yeah.
Things to buy.
And of course, in town you can beat each other up if you want
Yes,
to.
of course.
Yes. And as the dwarf, you have the option of picking people up and throwing them, which is fun. Although if you hit stuff in town, the guards come and arrest you, which doesn't really seem to do anything, but it's funny.
Yeah, we can maybe try and demonstrate that. Oh
Yeah.
no, I've spilled his apples.
And poor kid with his alcohol, which apparently you can't hit the kid.
Well, that would be too mean.
Oh, that's you I picked up.
And you tossed me over it. What do
Okay.
you do? Yes.
Yeah, doesn't really do much, but I guess it's a nice detail. Oh, another nice detail. When you're selecting your character, you get different colours, of course, but you can also change their language. Like, I have the dwarf in English because he's voiced by Jameson Price, who did Lubu and Nier, who are characters you may know. Whereas the Amazon, you might kind of tell, is in Japanese, so it's
yeah,
nice.
'cause it's my preferred language, and
Yeah.
she sounded nicer.
Yeah, I would usually go with the Japanese option if it's available, but I like Jameson Price, he's a pretty cool guy. But yeah, that's very nice, because some, like, if the game gives you English or Japanese, that's good, but if it gives you character-based, that's even better. So, yeah, that's Dragon's Crown. Really good-looking game, simple to play, but probably gets complex as you get further into it. Kind of confusing mechanics and can be a bit fiddly because there's so much stuff happening on screen, but
it has very high entertainment values.
yeah. And fun to play with friends, although obviously harder to play with friends because it means more stuff on screen. But yeah, that's Dragon's Crown. Would recommend mostly, I think.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely.
Yeah, and as Joker Prototype is now online, that means it's time to stop, because I don't know. But this seems like a good time to stop. So, that's been Dragon's Crown. See you next time for whatever we play next time. Goodbye.
Ciao.